I know you guys have always compartmentalized on, just the next game up and that sort of thing, and you try to treat every game the same way. But is there some wiggle room with this game against Dallas to maybe have it a little bit more on the importance meter than, say, game 60 or 55 was?
Um, well, I think we go into every game wanting and expecting to win, to put our best foot forward, and continue on kind of the march towards the playoffs. Obviously, we know where Dallas is in the division. We know the separation, and we have them 2 times, and you want to take care of the games that you can to try and put as much distance as you can between the two teams. We know they're playing exceptional hockey. They've made some big additions, and they've got some key guys out. But I think today's practice, it was good just to get some sharpness back. I think when you play 4 games in 6 nights, you're not on the ice a lot. You're not making a lot of passes, and I think it starts to show up with the fatigue, some of the decision making, but some of the execution. I think using that today, and then having a good morning skate tomorrow. Hopefully we're sharp and ready, because mistakes against a team like Dallas, where they don't give up a whole lot, but they're also very dangerous off the rush, very dangerous in zone. The difference in the game could be 1 or 2 mistakes, and obviously we were able to shut the door against New York, but there were some areas and some chances that they had where Helly had to come up big, and some uncharacteristic things that we don't want to do every night.
It will mean more come April, May, or maybe even June. But just in light of the narrative coming out of the trading deadline that, this team did that and that team did this. And, the Winnipeg Jets made a couple of nice ads, but, they weren't as high profile. Does that add a chip on the shoulder type of mentality when you're going up against the Dallases or the Colorados or the Edmontons or the Vegases?
Well, I think you look at the acquisitions we made, and kind of the impact they've had coming into the lineup. I think Luke hadn't been on the ice a whole lot coming into the game against the Rangers, and he played a heck of a game. 5 blocks, 5 hits. And some key blocks. Some great breakout passes. Just a veteran presence. He gives us some physicality. Some steadiness back there, and then. Rusty's kind of come as advertised, a lot of pace. Their lines really generated some great chances, some great forechecking. He's done a good job on the PK. Obviously, you see the big deals, and they kind of circle around Colorado and Dallas and, guys in that upper echelon. But, at the same time, you want to win in the playoffs, you want to win in this league, you have to beat great teams. And, we know Dallas is a great team. We know Colorado is a great team. But there's a lot of great teams. I think the most important thing we can do is focus on building our game, getting better every day, so that when we come up against these teams, we're ready. We can stay in the battle, and we feel like we can beat those teams. So it's just about getting better every day. So come playoff time, you're prepared regardless of if you made a big move or not. I think we're real content with the team we have. We have a strong belief in this group, and that we can get the job done.
Mikko Rantanen is a big impact player, and I can't remember a scenario where you guys are going to see him 7 times this year on 3 different teams. Like, you just can't escape him, right?
Well, we saw him a lot last year too, I guess. With the first round matchup, he might be getting sick of coming to Winnipeg.
He says he likes it here.
Yeah, you know what? See, he spread that. We get that out there. It's such a unique situation. I saw some quirky stat that once he stepped on the ice with Dallas, he became the player with the most points, playing for 3 teams in a calendar year. So, it's a unique situation, obviously. But we're real familiar with his game coming from Colorado, what he can do. Premier power forward, elite vision, great goal scoring touch, and unbelievable at protecting the puck down low. And he adds another element to an already deep team up front. So, like you said, unique situation playing him on 3 different teams, because all 3 teams play a little differently stylistically. So, you're going to get some different looks. But I imagine with his track record, teams are going to try and use him similar to how he was used in Colorado. And a guy like that, you got to get into his stick, you got to get into his hands, and you give him the free space on the power play. He usually hits that spot. He's pretty deadly there, and you feel like you have him, and he's got great vision. He can find guys. So it's about layers when you're defending guys like that, and he's just one of many key guys on their team that we're going to have to focus on. Trying to make it a long night for him.
Just one on Brandon Tanev. Has it taken him long to kind of remind everyone probably around here why he was such a fan favorite? Getting some TLC vibes from back in the day. Have you heard from C at all? I know obviously he's out for the year in Detroit.
So I haven't talked to Copper since the trade deadline. I was trying to let him recover from surgery, but I know Rusty talked to him kind of when the deal went down. But that's a bit of a throwback. I think you kind of reminisce a little bit and remember what it was like to play with him. I know we've gotten some shifts together, kind of coming out of the power plays, things like that. The odd PK shift, and just his speed, his tenacity. Is what makes him such a great player and a great complementary piece to any line he plays on. He's able to turn over pucks. He's so great on the forecheck, and for a guy of his size, he's quite physical. He's very disruptive. I think he's come in and been exactly as advertised. He's fast, he's physical, he's in on the forecheck, and he brings some energy to the lineup. And I think that's something we expect every night from him, and that's something I think fans from his years playing here know that's what he does. He brings it every night, regardless if he's not feeling great or he's a little banged up. He puts his best foot forward, and he's a great guy to have on your team.
A quick thought on what defines Dallas and how close knit they maybe are to you guys.
Defines them in what moment or in what essence?
Like what defines them as a team? What do they do best, and how much is it like what you guys do best?
Yeah, I think in terms of kind of just makeup, they've got incredible depth up front. Anytime, like when they're fully healthy, you have Wyatt Johnson centering your third line. They've got incredible players up and down up front, and one of the best American goalies, and Jake Ottinger. Obviously I think that's kind of the similar builds. Both teams have a premier defenseman, and then with Heiskanen and Ice with JMO, and both teams have kind of filled the net this year offensively, but been real stingy defensively as well. So I think when I look at their depth, when I look at kind of how their back end's made up, and their goaltending, there are a lot of similarities, and I think that's why even with how well we've played this year, that's why the kind of division is still such a tight race. It's a lot of great teams, and it's tough to win nightly, and you get separation because generally the teams that are chasing you are kind of on similar runs. So we're really looking forward to the matchup tomorrow, and seeing one of the best teams in the league.